It's 5 years, so that's a long time, and it was pretty intense but enjoyable, I have to say.
Jürgen, just down here, please.
I cannot forget the moment when I got the call from my agent that Liverpool is interested, and the feeling I had in that moment, because we were in Portugal, in Lisbon, with the family, both boys with us, Ola and I, sitting in a outside coffee bar, and actually I didn't pick a lot of phone calls in that time. It was like, yeah, come on, don't bother me. But then I saw him, it was like I had a feeling it could be something interesting. So Mark was okay, bam, I take the phone, he tells me. And I felt the excitement inside, and I still remember both boys were like, yes. And then we look at Ulla, and she looked at all three of us. Oh, it looks like holiday's over. It was just a really nice moment to have it together. When I got aware of the interest of Liverpool, was already pretty special, and from that point on, it got better and better.
First of all, I have to say, the biggest honor I can imagine to be here. The intensity of football, how the people live football in Liverpool or around Liverpool, all Liverpool fans all over the world. So it's not a normal or usual club, it's a special club.
Jose Mourinho, when he came to England for the first time, described himself as the special one. How would you describe yourself?
I'm a totally normal guy. I'm the normal one, maybe, if you want this. Yeah. When I left Dortmund, my last sentence maybe were, it's not so important what people think when you come in. It's much more important what people think when you leave.
The atmosphere in the English stadium is different to a German stadium. In England, if the game is not good, you can pretty much hear a needle dropping. That can happen. Doesn't happen too often to us, because obviously our football is quite emotional. But another part of where we are different is obviously how you say thank you to the crowd. And after West Brom, late equalizer, I just wanted to say thank you for the atmosphere and stuff like this, because we are not alone on this planet, and we are for sure should not be alone in a football stadium. We should never feel alone there, not the supporters, not the team, otherwise it makes no sense. And then all the British media, and I think even Tony Pulis mentioned something. If they celebrate a point against West Brom with all the money they spend, which is always a very nice argument in discussions about football, then something is wrong. But we didn't celebrate the result. We said thank you for the atmosphere the people created. Yes, it was obviously a misunderstanding in the public perception, but I couldn't care less, to be honest. Always say, and I really think, the only reason for a defeat is to react in the right way. You learn of it, then it's just a result. You don't learn of it, then it's a real disaster.
Using this experience from tonight, and I promise everybody, we will use it. We will use this experience, and we will come back stronger, 100%. It could have been enough, but not with 50-60% of our usual quality. The guys tried everything, and we didn't get it tonight, but how I said, we will come back.
Actually, I don't think something would be different today if we would have won both of these finals, to be 100% honest. We learned of it, but I think we would have learned of it as well if we would have won both finals. Here I am, still lost the majority of all the finals I was in, so that's not too nice, but it's the truth. I didn't suffer too long after we lost some finals, but of course I suffered, but I took them just as an information, as one information of a lot of other informations which we all used, and then you carry on. But I was not a different person after we lost finals, because in this world, and I don't like that too much, but it's just a fact, qualifying for a final is pretty much in all parts of life a massive achievement until you lose it. And then it's like all the rest never happened. I'm concerned about the next game we play, and it has nothing to do with any trophy won or any final we lost or anything. That's just, you try everything, you get something or nothing, that's how it is, and then you try again, absolutely everything to make the next thing happen. I remind Sadio from time to time that he used to shoot really well with the left foot. He came in my direction. We celebrated it a little bit too much. When Sadio jumped on my back, and it looks like the game is finished. You can celebrate like this if it's really decided, and with 3-1 at Arsenal, it's obviously not. This game was a really good example of what we have to do and what we have to improve.
You should not come in situations like this too often, but we are good enough to find a solution. 2-0 would have been better for half-time than 3-2. It's not about having a philosophy, it's about adapting to the quality of the opponent.
It was a really good sign, an early sign how good we can be, and it was as well a really good sign how concentrated we have to be a top side. That the higher you climb performance-wise, the more likely it gets that you have a pretty stressful finish of the season. And I think that was the year when Chelsea was really chasing us. We had to win each game pretty much to keep distance. The Gini Wijnaldum goal, right? Very, very important game. The funny part of that game was we won it, great, qualified for Champions League, and really after the game I realized, oh no, it's only for qualification for the Champions League. Finally, a few weeks later, after the Middlesbrough game, we qualified for the Champions League, and that was the start for really big stories, I would say. Football on highest intensity, on the highest level. Passion mixed up with technique is the best thing what football can deliver. Competitiveness massively, so it was just a joy to watch. Using all the things we learned over the years for a specific moment is just nice. These two home games, let me say, they were absolutely exceptional.
Two games, I really think we are deserved. In the next round, we scored 5 goals against Man City. We conceded 1. That's absolutely these numbers are usually not possible, and the boys did it. So I'm happy.
Rome showed here up. They are historically good in defending, and then we 5-0 up, and the world was bright and all was great. And then we concede these 2 goals. These 2 late goals, it was like, oh my God, game on. Away game, Rome, so we had to fight. We did, and qualified for the final. These games were absolute signs for the new level we could reach. That's true. if we want to challenge for the Holy Grail, we have to be nearly perfect, and that means you have to end up on a really high points tally. You cannot become champion in England with 80-something points. I can't see that anymore. I knew with the quality and the level City showed and the consistency they showed, it was clear you have to be really close to be perfect. Look, when you look at that season, how many moments this season could have been different. We didn't score at City for 11 millimeters. The 97 points, it was not even the number was 11 millimeters, so it was just an exceptional year. And it's a good education, a good thing to learn. And I said that always, giving you absolutely everything doesn't guarantee you get anything. It's just the only chance. It's just the only chance to get something. So that's how it really is, and that's the perfect example for it. We gave our absolute everything. And it looked like we get absolutely nothing for it, but it's not true, because a few weeks later we had a big chance to get something really special. I said to the boys, I know it's actually not possible, but because of you, we have a chance, so let's give it a try. Having some words for it is one thing, but the boys made of this game is so absolutely exceptional. With being 3-0 down, knowing what we have to do, knowing what usually happens when you are that open against Barcelona, when you have to be offensive against them, that was absolutely exceptional. And the game I could watch and would not be bored for 1 second. It's such an exceptional football game. Nobody who was there or saw it live will ever forget. This is a moment where everybody involved, and I really mean everybody involved, gets the maximum reward for all the investment. That's what I enjoy 100%. I love watching everybody else carrying it, touching it, kissing it, whatever, do with what you want. I love that a lot. The word for that is absolutely overwhelming. It's all too much. Everything what you experience in these 4 or 5 hours on the truck through the city is too much. It was that intense. It was really absolutely great. You cannot, as a normal human being, you cannot really deal with it. You have the chance to block it and think, okay, that's too much emotion. I don't want to be sucked in of it. I try to be as open as possible and get as much of it as I can. I love the fact that it's not only for us. It's not only for the guys in the shirt. It's for everybody who wants to be involved. And these people, obviously, our supporters, want to be as close as possible. They want to support us as much as possible. And so it made it so special to have this moment together. It was absolutely overwhelming, incredible, unforgettable.
It's so overwhelming what the people are doing when you have a direct eye contact and you see how much it means to them. That's touching, to be honest.
I don't speak as a football manager now, just as a human being. And you think, oh my God, it looks like it's really serious. Or a lot of people right before they start thinking, they bombard us with numbers which we as human beings cannot deal with. Who wants to read every day how many people die? So we had to learn to deal with these situations as well. And for this moment, we stopped the league here. Football is not important anymore.
The only way to get football back as soon as possible, and if that's what the people want, the more disciplined we are now, the earlier we will get piece by piece by piece our life back.
We played that game and it was really strange because I can cut off everything before a game. I make sure my family is well. Apart from that, I don't need to know anything. I can now be completely focused on the game. In this game, I struggled so much. It was incredible. And then it came up, the nil and void discussions. And it's from a maybe selfish point of view, I don't know. But I think from a sportsman's point of view as well, I thought, how can you think about that? After 70-something% of the season I played, how can anybody think it would be the right decision to take away all what we did before? That was hard for a moment, but was clear after a few weeks that will not happen. We have to be very cautious and very serious again about all the things happening out there. Make sure that we all are as well as possible. Ending the 30-year wait meant obviously absolutely everything to our fans and absolutely everything to us here as well. It's just, from my point of view, and I know a lot of people will see it differently, one of the biggest achievements in sports in the last few years. If you see the circumstances, if you see the challenges, if you see the opponents, if you see the pressure which was on the boys when I arrived here, and all these kind of things, so it's one of the biggest achievements. just another milestone in the history of this fantastic club. It was all different. It was all not like it usually is, but that makes it even more special because we hopefully will never compare this title to any other title, not from a points tally point of view, just from a how was it without supporters, because it will hopefully never happen again that anybody has to celebrate anything without supporters. So it makes it so special. It will be really easy for us to remember in the future when we think back.
Without crowd, it's not the same. But you know, we do it for you, we know it. And we will have a time when we do it together. Congratulations to all of us. We are champions of England, Europe and the world. Unbelievable, because of you, by the way.
The boys and I, we decided we want to mix up things in the future. When we look back and when did we win this there? Was it in 21 or 22? Oh, I don't know. No, that was 23 and stuff like this. So that's actually the plan. And so there's some work to do. And yeah, if we all stay healthy, if we all stay committed, if we all keep believing, if we all keep dreaming, then I think we have a chance. And that's okay, because we never had more than a chance, and it worked out somehow.